Hi everyone, so here is Moonlight Soul and Marissa from Growing the Flow, and this is Stars and Cars episode 35. Can you believe it? And we're going to be talking about Mars. Very interesting energies coming through. So, hello Marissa, nice to see you again.
Hello. It's especially nice to see you where you are. I want to be there.
Oh, I have a nice background.
Yes, I'm enjoying it. Yeah, but doing well here. Moving through February, ramping up for a new moon in Pisces coming up tomorrow as we're recording this. So we bring that energy in, and then see about this whole March coming
Oh
in.
yeah, Mars, the eclipses. We as soon as the Pisces new moon is done, we enter in eclipse season. So let's see what that's got in store for us. I'm curious. And also Neptune moving into Aries for the first time in our life. Yeah, at the end of March. So there are a lot of shifty energy going on in March, and Venus station in retrograde on March 1st. So we starting with a bang. So I'm curious. I'm very curious to see what is going to come through the cards. Yes.
Me too. And as we say, March comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb. We'll see, but let's just get to it and start the cards going so we can see what's coming forward. And since we do have a new moon tomorrow as we're recording, we're going to consult our Queen of the Moon Oracle with just a little intention around all the lunations of March as well.
Yeah,
Um,
lunar eclipse in Virgo and the final eclipse in Aries, even though we already have the nodes in Pisces, Virgo, but this is how it's all playing out for us. Then, of course, it's got a spiritual meaning. So, yeah, last Aries eclipse with the North Node in Pisces.
Wow. Yeah, it really it does feel like you can kind of just feel this culmination point as we knew it would in a nine universal year. And then also new year, we have a new astrological
Oh,
year kicking
yeah. Oh,
off
yeah,
too.
Equinox.
So yeah, so it's all happening.
That's
Let's
right.
see.
March is gonna be definitely an interesting month.
Well, the new beginnings just peeked at me.
Oh,
So
yeah, that makes
indeed.
sense.
Indeed. I tuned in on the Empowerment Sharecast on Sunday for this week and the lunation, and I got purity. That's what I know came forward there. So that brought through some insights, but I'm definitely curious to see what our collective energies bring here today. I'm getting a lot of cards flipping, so that's interesting.
Everybody wants to talk.
Yeah, there's a lot to say. So let's see. One card, please. Ah, okay, that's the one. Self-reflection.
Oh yeah, that makes sense
Yeah.
too. Being still in a Pisces season and still being
Yeah,
the Virgo full moon lunar eclipse being in Pisces season, that makes perfect sense to me.
it does. What number is that? 17?
Number
Yeah.
eight. This is number
Yeah.
35, episode 35, which is also number eight.
Yeah, so there we go. So we're definitely moving through that infinity, this sense of, and also, yeah, just finding that equilibrium. It's interesting because that's something that a lot of people in my orbit, I was saying like unsettled stomachs in the way of almost like a seasick or, kind of getting our bearings, which, this one does remind me of like literally being up to your neck, in water, in emotion, in feels, in Pisces. But yeah, the self-reflection. So as always, mirroring, as within, so without coming up.
Yeah, I mean, we have all these situations going on in Pisces. Like we just had the Mercury Saturn conjunction yesterday as we recording this, and Mercury is also gonna conjunct the North Node and Neptune actually three times. Venus is conjuncting North Node, Neptune, and Saturn three times, and we'll have Sun conjuncting the North Node, and it's just gonna be wild times, really. And this is all about the Pisces, which is about what are we learning behind because it lost meaning, and what did we learn through the process with the South Node in Virgo, the hermit, right? Our hero's journey, human journey, through which we came here to expand through having the experience, learning, right, and putting it into practical application. So the self-reflection, this is the time for it for sure. Before we kick off the new astrological year and kickstart the new energies of the Aries, the initiation.
Yeah, so just be here now in the energies and just let it flow, and whatever's bubbling up and whatever we're finding in that self-reflection, just let it inform, as we're thinking, because there's a lot of this like, yeah, that was the purity message, was about sort of clearing the playing field and preparing for that fire and that energy to go out and create. But for now, we may feel like we're up to our eyeballs in it. And that's where I was feeling this, like, just that unsettled feeling, because we're trying to find that equilibrium, which is also, like, speaking of that, figure eight, the Two of Pentacles, the
Oh yeah.
juggling, because all this is going on and we're all feeling those impacts, but also the chopping wood, carrying water, attending to all those earthly 3D things, and, trying to do so while you're also having all of these profound insights or deep and dreams too. That's another thing, like, dreams that are coming forward, or things that are just sort of, there's a lot of symbolism too, like, I think. And so it just kind of depends on where one is in their self-reflection. As we know, we can find the symbols and the meaning in anything, but and some people be like, oh yeah, I didn't even see that, that's true. And it's like, yeah, it's just one way of looking at things, I think, that can help to give more meaning to things that can seem a little more mundane, or a little, what's so special about that? But actually, a lot of that earthly stuff is giving us a lot of information in terms of our priorities, and where we're investing energy, so that we can really step into then that Aries energy empowered.
Yeah, and especially now with Mercury in Pisces, connecting to the dreams and perceiving things through this more non-material lens, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's making us more intuitive. Like you said, we pay more attention to symbols and synchronicities and stuff. And as we know, after Capricorn, there's only Aquarius and Pisces, and that's what I keep saying also to my client. These are the two main tools to help us to bridge from the Piscean age to the Aquarian age, to co-create with the quantum field and co-create with the spirit, because the Piscean age help us to understand, like what now is outdated and moving away from, and what held a meaning, so we can take this with us. But technically everything holds a meaning and purpose. We just need to understand it by looking at it through this different lens of perceiving it. So I really feel that this Mercury in Pisces, soon to be going into Aries on 3-3 portal, and then moving back into Pisces because of the retrograde in March. Oh yeah, let's just not forget, we have a Mercury retrograde in March.
Oh yeah, nobody's even talking about Mercury.
From
Everything's
Aries to
Mars,
Pisces.
Mars, Mars, Venus, Venus, Venus,
Yeah,
Aries,
but
but
we
no.
also have Mercury retrograde, and Mercury is going to do the same as Venus, going from Aries to Pisces and then back in April. So we have a lot of, there is a new way of thinking that we need to establish, and it's to do with paying attention to the things that are not so obvious, paying attention to the things that are more subtle, the subtle energies and the invisible realms. And this is what's going to help us to navigate and move forward into these new uncharted territories, because we are not replicating the past. Aquarius is all about breaking the pattern, changing the pattern, and Pluto is already in Aquarius, and Uranus is already moving into Gemini this year. So that is the multidimensionality and the choice. So that's why we are being prepped. We are being prepped.
Yeah. And in some ways it's like that long last look, Pisces. Like, it gets to that point where, like, it really, like, speaks to me that it's like literally up to her neck, like, but there is a lot to be gleaned from all of that and extracted, as we were chatting before we came on. And I just wanted to peek at the affirmation with this one, because it says, I am not afraid to look deeply at myself in all aspects. So it's all the things, it's all the ways, it's the good, the bad, the ugly. It's the things that maybe are hiding in the shadows, or things that we don't realize, which of course we know, if we're not seeing those things within our own self-reflection, then we're going to see it on the external. There's going to be
Yeah,
the
mirror.
players are going to assemble and show up to mirror to us just what's needed to be seen. So if you are experiencing a lot of that, then there's an opportunity to go, what is this external person, place, or thing telling me about me?
Yeah.
And again, self-reflection. So, that's the same place where we find ourselves often, have found ourselves. But I really feel that it's almost like, if pulling the plug on the at the bottom, and it's just
Oh
going to
yeah,
drain out,
yeah.
you
Trying
know
the bath.
yeah, like, so it's like this last, it's just kind of having this last look anyway for now. Yeah, that I think that, opportunities here. And the other thing, like one of the things when I tuned in for the Pisces new moon, I was getting the word neutrality and choosing neutrality actually, which again is like taking the reins in terms of like I choose
Mm.
neutrality. So it's like all of these aspects, I'm not afraid to look at them because I'm looking at them neutrally. I'm just observing them in a way, reserving judgment, and not getting too caught up in those details because it's all temporary. It's all in transit. So it's not here to stay. I get to decide what I'm going to take with me and what I'm going to leave behind. So if anything, I want to see it, so that I can make those cuts, pull the plug, and head on into
Get out.
Aries season. Yeah.
I think it's interesting because what came to me was that, well, first of all, I wanted to say it is the last time because this is the last year we have Neptune in the sign of Pisces during Pisces season. Because
Mhm.
next year Neptune is going to re-enter Aries in January, so it will be already in Aries by the Pisces season. But the other thing that came to me while we were talking about the choose neutrality, Jupiter is in Gemini. Jupiter was trine in the South Node when South Node was in Libra. Libra adjusted the neutrality, and we know that we entered, exited 2024 and entered 2025 with Pluto trine in the South Node, whilst Pluto was squaring it throughout 2023. So pointing to the South Node, pay attention to where is the imbalance, where are the crises, and now
Mhm.
we know that the crises are showing up everywhere in all aspects of our life, whether that's our personal life or collective experience, and we have the opportunity to balance it by establishing the point of peace and harmony, the neutrality in our own personal being, because that's where it all starts. So I really feel with this Jupiter still transiting through the sign of Gemini, obviously direct since the beginning of February, and Jupiter is the traditional ruler of the North Node. Again, what did we learn? What is the meaning? Pisces, right? And connecting with our spiritual essence, it's amplifying and giving us opportunity for expansion through
Mhm.
choice. What do you choose?
Yeah.
Neutrality, choosing the balance, choosing the peace. And this is what's going to skyrocket us into this new way of experiencing reality, Aquarius, right? Breaking the pattern, because this hasn't been done before. Let's face it, right? We've been just steering the same poop and recreating the history over the past few thousand years by focusing on what was and creating more of the same. So obviously, to create something different, we need to choose something different.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. So yeah, that's definitely hitting on it. We're going to add our tarot energy to that for beginning, middle, and end of March, right? So we're going to tune
Exactly.
in psychic tarot.
So the
We were
beginning,
saying,
Venus stations retrograde, first of March. The middle, we have the eclipse in Virgo, and yeah, in the end, yes, we have the Aries eclipse, final one, and Neptune moving into Aries. So it's a these are just few highlights. There are many other things happening. Obviously, Mercury retrograde, but yeah, it's just gonna be a packed month.
yeah, just bringing out the headliners here to see. So, see what's coming up first. There we go. Ooh, yeah. So, all that water, Four of Cups,
Oh, nice. That one has been coming
discontent.
up.
Yeah. So, hey, we may be feeling a little waterlogged by the time, we're just stepping in here because there is a lot of emotion and there is all of this going on. And we might be sick and tired of looking at the same thing, discontent and boredom.
Yeah, like, oh, get me out of here.
Yeah. All right. So, middle of the month, it's coming up with the Four of Cups. Ah, the moon, shadow.
Perfect. This is the Virgo. Well, I mean, this card Moon represents the Pisces, so it's good because we have the full Moon Lunar Eclipse in Virgo.
Yeah, but he does, I don't know, it does give me those vibes anyway. I know what you mean because I'm just feeling like that,
To me, this
the
card always represents shadow work because it's
yeah.
the light and the dark of each of us, right? Who we are. So we need to go within, and also it's like the Moon represents the past.
Yeah.
And the lunar eclipse, and it's happening on the south node. South node is in Virgo, yeah, ruled by Mercury. By that, actually, Mercury is stationed in retrograde right after on the 15th. But yeah, this is the thing. Things are churning up again for us to see and to discern and to learn from. So this is not to punish us. This is to help us to embody, these whatever it is that needs to be embodied, and also to balance the shadow and the light on a
Yeah,
planet.
yeah. And to bring some illumination maybe to some of those things that, potentially with that, yeah, with that lunar eclipse coming in, that endings of things and culminations again with the full moon, that is going to be bringing about some new potential so that when we arrive at the end of the month, let's see what the last one will be.
Aries
Oh,
eclipse.
I got two. One card.
Ah,
Ooh.
that's nice.
One last look back. Memories of love. This is a beautiful, beautiful card, though. It's the Six of Cups. So
A lot of water. All of them are water.
it's all water. It's literally all water. And there's a lot of, like, these both have a very similar with this
Yeah.
mirror reflection and connection. And, this is the one that maybe needs a little waking up there, because there's a very trained focus on something that feels kind of stagnant, or again, just kind of ho hum, like a Four of Cups would say, to look up and kind of see potential, if we're feeling sort of disenchanted or unmotivated by what meets the eye. But that's a lot of water.
I guess that's why the Virgo full moon has to bring up the moon, which is the past, the unresolved things from the past, to break us out of the reverie, out of the boredom, to say like, hey, pay attention over here, because the Four of Cups is technically Cancer energy, which is this initiation into stepping into this new version of yourself. That's what Mars in retrograde until few days ago was helping us to get to, like, deep within. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to become? You're not the victim of your
Mm-hmm.
circumstances. You can change at any moment of your life. You can change. You can become whoever you want to be. It just takes some conscious effort.
Yeah, and a willingness, like we say, I'm not afraid to reflect on all the aspects of myself. And so if there's things that we're looking at that we would rather not have to deal with, those are exactly the things that we are
I
given
know.
opportunity to look at. Yeah, like just the thing that you don't want to look at, that's the thing. And
Yeah.
so I actually, yeah, it feels like it all kind of culminates to making peace with that here at the end with the memories of love, because it's still looking back, it's still reflecting,
Hmm.
but in this way that I always say about this card that it reminds me of, well, shameless movie reference, Karate Kid 2, when Mr. Miyagi's father passes away and they do the ceremony and they send it off like the Chinese lanterns in the water, like, or in this case in Japan, but they're sending it out. So it's like it carries on, it carries forward, but the memories of love, again, we're extracting from the past and everything that's come forward that then ripples out and moves on. So feeling kind of deep here in terms of like having to again look at the things and allow ourselves to extract, but ultimately with love and with reverence for what it has made possible for where we're going to next.
Yeah, I'm just like with the Six of Cups, because of course the six is the number of balance and harmony. We know in tarot is the number of choice, the Lovers card. And I really feel that this is like, it is such a beautiful sequence of things, because we have the self-reflection, Pisces season, the culmination of the astrological year with everything that's going on, everything everybody is going through. Is the, oh my God, the winter has been on forever. When is it ending? I know this is not my case necessarily, but for many people, and everybody's just waiting for the spring to come, right? So everybody's just like, this is just so old now. And, so we entering into this March, like, okay, are we there yet? Like most people probably not too impressed by many things. And then, yeah, then we have the eclipse that's going to illuminate to us, okay, what is the last of that we need to work on or released or whatever, because we know that this is the year 9. There are a lot of culmination happening, because next year is the reset point, the Wheel of Fortune, the Zero and the One, the Fool and the Magician, right? So there are a lot of things that are going to be ending this year. And for many people will be making choices to change a lot of things in their life, in their personal experience and stuff. So a lot of things of the past are coming to the surface to help us understand, like, what am I taking with me? What am I leaving behind? What it will look like in our everyday reality, Virgo, Pisces. Pisces is the bringing spirit into physical form, but it has to be practical because otherwise, what's the point? We need to be able to
Mm-hmm.
embody the energy. So I feel with the six, at the end of the month when we have the final solar eclipse in Aries, which we've not had any lunar eclipse in Aries, we just had solar eclipses in Aries, which is the initiation, and Neptune moving into Aries, ruled by Mars, but at that time still in Cancer, we are being initiated into becoming this new version of ourselves, but the old still exists within us, like the memories
Mm-hmm.
of the past. It didn't go anywhere. We are just creating something better and stronger from it. It's like the phoenix rising from the ashes, or
Mm-hmm.
said previously, using the ashes as the fertilizer for the new tree
Mm-hmm.
to grow from. But it's nothing is wasted. It's all good. So it's like, what choices are we making with regards to who we becoming, because we going into new direction, ready or not, or we going. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like who you want to become and how you want to get there, that's up to you.
Yeah. So in order for you to really arrive at that choice point, feeling informed, we want to look at all of it. And so that is where these two buggers, the Four of Cups and the Moon, the shadow, are really pushing us, I think, here as we move into March to really have these opportunities again with the retrogrades, kind of going back over things and really getting clear on. But like you say, it doesn't go away, it just changes form, and we may transmute that energy, but it's coming from that, whether it is turning over to become the fertilizer or the ashes from which we're rebuilding something.
Mm,
It's all serving. Yeah.
yeah. And also, because it is the number four, the first one, Four of Cups, that we start in the month with, Venus stationing in retrograde. Venus is the relational dynamics, and everything in this reality is relational. We came here to relate to the outer reality. Aries in opposition with Libra. But the number four, it is the foundation. It is the Saturn number. Is the foundation. Again, in tarot, number four is the emperor, is the structure of our life, our reality, right? By traditional astrology, they call it the Aries card, even though I have a different opinion, but never mind. So this is all serving, just like you said, and also to help us to become more attuned to our emotions and more in charge of our emotions, because once Jupiter moves into Cancer in June, Jupiter is really gonna teach us through extremes, because Jupiter expands everything it touches, and we know since last year how much monkey mind and stuff and information and overload has been coming up for us, and stories, right? For reevaluation with Jupiter being Gemini, such an overload of everything, and now Jupiter is eventually moving into the sign of Cancer. So it's gonna go past this territory that Mars just covered, and is still covering at this moment when we're recording. It's still being in Cancer. So Jupiter is going to expand whatever we've been working on. And again, it's your choice what that is, depending on what you decide. So, us turning back to it and say, no, I can't deal with this. This is too much, these emotions, this past, these memories, this whatever it is. So Jupiter is just gonna go and expand whatever it is has to work with. Whereas, and especially being Pisces season, a lot of people are eyeballs in shadow work right now, eyeballs in their fields, like really, really, there is so many people going through so much, reevaluating their life, like everything, the purpose of their life, meaning of their life, where am I going,
Mhm.
world is looking like this, okay, what do I want to do about it, how do I want to respond to it? So there is some huge wave of energy that we are all digesting at the moment, and alongside with that, there is all this huge wave of energy that's coming, this new energy, and that's this Aries, the equinox, the initiation, the new astrological year, all the rest of it. And yeah, and with the six is the balance of the old you and the new you, the nostalgia with regards to who you were and who you are becoming, and we bridging the gap. So I feel the six of cups is especially between becoming bridging the gap between who you were and who you are and who you're becoming.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it is like it feels like the passage, because I'm thinking about how this brings the fire and water together. Like in order to traverse and be able to cross all those depths of emotion and water, we do need the fire. We need the desire. We need that light to be lit, so that we have a purpose that we are endeavoring toward. And, if you don't like what you see in front of you, good. Because it's showing you, like we see here, there's a whole kingdom out there as it's depicted here. There's a whole world out there of possibility that maybe we haven't even explored yet. That now, as we see the same old that's been in front of us, and it's no longer, we're not enthused. It's not giving us that sense of desire and motivation and that fire in the belly. So that's the indication that there's a mismatch there in terms of, okay, so what am I missing? What am I not seeing that's available to me that I can create from now? And then, again, with the illumination of some things that need to end or that are coming to an end, that we then seek out the new beginnings. But of course, we do so, with the connection that we have to the past, the memories, and the, all that it has made possible for us to build on, with that energy of the framework and the new. I have been seeing actually the Four of Wands a lot. A lot of people have been getting the Four of Wands because it is about, when it comes to tribe and home and celebration and connection, and that framework in some cases is changing. There are shifts that are happening there. And so it does have that feeling maybe of being like unstable. And we don't like to spend a lot of time there. And yet, if we find ourselves there, this is where, when we bring in these tools so that we can navigate with as much ease as possible as we traverse and cross all of this. The fire is coming in, I feel then, is that, what does light you up? What does bring you joy? What do you feel passionate about? And let that sort of fuel you as you're navigating through these choppy waters.
And I mean, this card is just such a perfect depiction of Neptune in Aries, because Neptune, the water, the all there is, the source, the meaning, the totality. And then the Aries, the little fire, like, okay,
Yeah.
here is the little initiation, your little motivation, your Ace of Wands, because
Yes, the Ace of Wands.
we starting again, we starting again. It's never done, it's never over. And yeah, it's the six, the harmony and balance, because there is always, the universe always strives for balance, always. And yeah, I'm still being brought back to the choice, to the lovers,
Yeah.
and it's like, this is like a very positive card, and it like warms your heart, that like at the beginning and end of everything is love anyway. So I mean, we all
Mm-hmm.
work in to bring more love and experience of who we really are into the physical form, which is
Yeah.
fire. We want to create something with the fire. And Sun in Aries is exalted. So so this is when the sun is in a sense reborn, right? It's in Aries.
Yeah. I was hearing, like, as you're saying that song, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. So it's like, again, we're really being pushed to step into that authenticity, and just like, even if all I have is this little light to get started, this little flick, this spark, here it is. I'm bringing, like, we're all bringing what we have, and we're because it's like this collective
Mm,
moving through all the emotion, and we each have our own unique light and
yeah.
to bring to it. And again, the more that tipping of, well, what are we going to focus on? Because the lovers is saying, bringing heaven to earth,
Mm,
whether or not you see the potential of where you are, or you believe that it's out there somewhere that that it has to be really hard to get to. And it's about that perspective and that understanding. And so again, it's results will vary because it just depends on how we approach it. But this is offering for us a potential for a way forward that I think is really speaks to me anyway. And I feel that actually get excited about what's possible on the other side of having to sort of sift through all of this muck from the past that is not coming with me. So it just feels lighter and freer to envision crossing over, and it's not far. It's here. It's just, we're here now. So we're in the midst of it.
I mean, it speaks its own story. Like literally, this is the last month of the astrological year. And I mean the eclipse just like puts a punch mark on it. It just illuminates it. The Virgo eclipse, the human journey, and what we're gonna do about what we've learned and how we're gonna put it into our practical life, everyday mundane reality going forward. Because with the self-reflection, and also like you said, the self-reflection, the moon, also the last card, and with the four, because yeah, a lot of people just feel stuck. They feel like there is no foundation, there is no sense of safety and security. I don't even know who I am, where am I going, what I'm doing is for, what's the meaning, what's the purpose. So many people are finding themselves in that emotional struggle at the moment because of the internal and external happenings. And yeah, and this is the opportunity to really go through the last rinse of the washing machine and go like, okay, well, at the end of the day, everything has the beginning of the end. And also this shall pass, and there is always a new beginning. And the last card is just that hope. It like offers the hope, that the humanity will keep going, the evolution will keep going, with or without, it's just gonna keep going because it's endless, it's timeless, it's limitless. But while we're here to play the role, we have a choice, we have a free will. So what we're gonna do, how are we going to put that fire into action and create? What are we going to create? So I really feel that this month will potentially wake a lot of people up to that Ace of Wands, to that like, okay, I'm ready, let's do something now.
Yeah, let's light it up. Let's do it. Yeah, for sure. Wow. Well, let's pull our we want to pull an oracle card too, just to punctuate and like maybe it won't be so watery.
I mean, it's from the shaman's dream, so who knows?
Yeah, it could be. We don't know what we're gonna get, but yeah, we're gonna pull from the shaman's dream, which is a beautiful deck. And oh, you know what? I think actually I just pulled this out. We got last time the empty well, which
Oh,
is
nice.
interesting. I remember speaking to this card because there's a lack of water in an empty well, right? So we've more than made up for it, which again, this was time to replenish. Reminds us again, it's all cyclical. It's this too shall pass. This is just temporary, even if it feels all encompassing. And it's not
Yeah,
to minimize how it feels to be up to your eyeballs in water or
exactly.
trudging through mud. But it's all of the things all at once. So yeah, perspective and opportunity for us to allow this to bring forward what's necessary for the next. Yeah.
Let's see what the shaman's dream wants to contribute.
Yeah, what's coming up here for us in all the things. Oh man. Yeah, we are. It says lost in space.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so need
excellent. Yeah, it sounds like the Four of Cups.
it sounds like this Four of Cups. Yeah, just kind of just being there, just sort of like, lost in space. But I feel like, I love the angelic presence because it's like we're not alone. And if this is planet Earth,
Hmm.
we're not alone. We're being held and supported and guided through this process, even if we can't see it. Again, that's the big thing. Is it's difficult when you look at current, your current circumstances in the current environment or what's happening in the moment. It does feel like lost in space, like there's no beginning and no end and where to from here, and it's just lost in the sauce. But there's a perspective that was just zoomed us right out, like literally just extracted us right out of all of that and put you at this looking at it from literally space of having to look at it all. So yeah, that's definitely a different perspective. It's
Well, I think
card 36.
perfect. Number nine, another number nine, just like the moon. And I really feel that this really is the last year for many people to feel like they don't know what they're here for. A lot of people are being initiated to step into their purpose, into the role they came here to play. So I really feel that, this whole year, I mean, especially the first half of it, and predominantly these first 3 months of it, many people feel lost, but it's okay because like sometimes you have to get to the bottom, like just max it out, and then get to that point of like, I don't know, I give up, I surrender. And that's where
Yes.
starts opening up, clear up, and there is that, like that angels are holding us, and there is the light, and everything is divinely guided and orchestrated. And we already talked about this in previous recordings that, like we've been pinned to the wall and we just struggling, and we fighting, and at some point we just gonna relax and go like, I just don't know, I just give up, I just surrender, and that's when everything starts flowing and making sense, and that's where we finally start listening to our inner guidance, and it will take us exactly where we need to go. So I feel that whole planet at the moment is going through that process of like regurgitating the last of the past, and having it like in our face and going like, no, this is not what we want, this is not where we want to go, and we kind of don't know, our ego doesn't know, because it only knows what happened, it doesn't know about anything about the future, the unknown, and that's where we open ourselves to this guidance, and that's exactly what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, that word, the three words that came up with the cards this week was I surrender, I allow, and I choose. Because I've said before, these are words of empowerment. It's a choice that you make to surrender. I could sit there flailing my arms and trying to tread water and keep, it's like if we had a bucket and we were trying to bail water out of this, and it's up to, it's a fool's errand, right? It's a lost cause, because we just have to surrender to what is, but also acknowledge that the same old doesn't work anymore. It doesn't fit. It's not in alignment. And I think that's what this card is going to get into, because like even as I just look at the key words of this card, it is about feeling lost, about needing direction and focus. And it says a 24-hour day. And the first thing I thought of is what you and I were saying about time and just how crazy it is, and the days are just flying by, and there's just not enough time to cram in the same old, all the same things. So we're having to use discernment. We're having to choose. So I think, this feeling of being lost in space is like spinning our wheels. It's like continuing to try to bail out of something that, we have to feel it to heal it. We have to, the only way is through. And so we'll see what the shaman has to say here, but that's what I'm feeling. It says, sometimes in life we lose our way, perhaps falling prey to addictive behaviors, jealousy, comparison, resistance, or fear. This happens especially when we are up-leveling and genuinely changing for the better. A part of us, hiding in the vast expansiveness of space, wants to sabotage our progress. In the transformation process, our inner world no longer feels safe or inhabitable, as we find that our thoughts and beliefs have morphed beyond recognition. You may find yourself adrift in this way right now, unable to focus or determine the next step. You might be tired and simply need to regroup and rest. When you lack direction, the first thing to do is redirect your perspective of time. Like a newborn baby who needs swaddling to feel safe, you're invited to reduce your life visioning to the next 24 hours. Anyone can handle living in 24-hour compartments, which allows everything to feel grounded and manageable. You get lost in space when you imagine being swallowed up in the giant vastness of the future with its dark uncertainty, or reflect on your past. Reflect on how your past has held you captive in a hall of distorted, never-ending mirrors, reminding you of your mistakes and flaws, failures, and losses. Take heart that the simple 24-hour container immediately banishes those two awful eternities away. You find that your energy and focus restored as you recognize that you were never lost at all. Keep it simple. Right now, conserve your energy and take care of you in basic, fundamental ways, and the world will be right again.
Well, it just literally, this one card encompasses all the cards that we
I
just.
know. Every time I got to a spot, I'm like, okay, that's that card. Okay, that's that one. Like, it was like a
And
perfect,
past, prison of the past, that's the moon. And let
yeah.
it go, that's six of cups.
Yeah, and like what we see reflected back, this mirroring, like it's just so, that's so perfect and true to be here now, be in this moment, just take it one cup at a time, right? We don't have to have it all figured out. I don't need to know where all these cups are ending up on the other side. I'm here now with my little spark, this little light of mine, and every day my mission is to seek out, what I desire, passion, joy, understanding, whatever feels that it's in contrast of that or is not in flow with that is a thing that's coming up for me to look at in the here and now to decide, whether or not this has a place with where I endeavor to go. But it really is just like in the present moment, being here now with what is and not overwhelming ourselves with, yeah, but the thing is last time this, that, and the other, the past, or yeah, but then what if this, that, and the other, the future? And then we get lost in space. And that's a beautiful way of putting it.
Well, that's like the recent meditation that Milan Moritz, one of my favorite artists, she published on that day of the Neptune North Node conjunction about this, like how can you change your life in 30 days? And I've been doing the meditation every day. And like you and I talked about it when she says in the
Yeah.
meditation that you made this choice before, you've been there before, and she also says, literally, she says in the meditation that the past is gone. The past is gone, it's gone. That's it. We can learn from it, but the past is gone. And also, like what came through my not so long ago reading, the psychic reading I had with Amaya, and they said that, it might not be forever, but it makes you to learn to live in the present moment because we
Right.
don't know. We don't know where we're going. We don't know what's happening. We don't know anything. Nothing is guaranteed. Like one of our favorite teachers, Lee Harris, says that the future is not guaranteed, it's not promised to anyone, tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
is not promised to anyone, all we have is the present moment. So with these Pisces we can look back, we can feel nostalgic about what was, but we have to let it go because we need
Mm-hmm.
space for the new, and the new is unknown. We don't know what new is coming. We can have ideas, we can visualize, but even with the visualization we need to let go of the details because we just don't know. We're going to drive ourselves insane to try to control all the miniature details, and it will work out the way it's gonna work out. So I feel now looking at the card six, it's like it literally is just about just let it go, just let it go, just flow with it, the ebbs and flow, just flow with it and let it go because you are in a good hands. You're not lost. Your ego might feel lost, but you're not
Mm-hmm.
lost. Your soul know exactly where you're going. Your guides know exactly where you're going. Don't worry. We are always guided and supported, and we exactly where we meant to be. And this is the time, especially this Pisces season and the March. This is the last month when you have the opportunity to chill the hell out. Because when Aries ski season starts and going forward after that, there will not be this rest time anymore. So yeah, so this is a perfect time, and yeah, this card just perfectly like explains everything: what, why, and where, and how.
Yeah, it just really just puts us right in there to say, yeah, be here now. If you don't like what you see, if it, it's okay if it feels you feel ungrounded, but just know you are safe and you are held in this moment and just do what you can in this space, in this moment. Because no, we've never had control. Even now that we're in, we didn't have control of that yesterday. We didn't know how it was going to be. Yeah, it might have been a little predictable, or in the past, it's been a little more, incrementally different each day. But this is the age of Aquarius, so
Well, you didn't know your computer was going to pack up, so
no, like this whole thing went completely different. But how quickly can we recalibrate to go, okay, that didn't go how I planned. I wanted my computer to work, it died. I had to like rerun all the wires and set everything up. I have a different setup in front of me, and I was initially all discombobulated, but you know what, the thing is happening. So how am I going to be in it? Because I can't. It's so like I really do see that, like the buckets like just trying to bail out the water that's just pouring in. It's like it's futile. It's not a good use of my energy. So if we catch ourselves spinning, that's where we have an opportunity to really just surrender to the flow, allow and choose. What you can do, and that's over your actions and reactions in this moment. So just kind of trying to keep it simple while it is, yes, also complex, which is, the Jupiter and Gemini aspect of both. Yes, I am an immortal soul, and I'm also having this human experience in the constraints of this body that is experiencing all of this. So it is real to me, but also when I'm lost in space, I have an opportunity to see that it's all, and so of course that's kicking up and being amplified for us now as well, because we're wrapping that up and really getting ready for the next, which don't get caught up in that. That's next episode. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, it's so funny because it's literally like you said with the Jupiter in Gemini, and and we're going to have obviously Mercury, the rule of the Jupiter, rule of the South Node, rule of the upcoming eclipse, the next lunation in a toe. And yeah, and that's exactly that. You can decide, you're never gonna know everything, but you can decide what is the next chapter of your story for as long as, as you think you can control it anyway. But the main thing that came up for me was, like this is all happening, especially the second half of the month with Mercury retrograde from this Aries to Pisces and then back to Aries, because you are deciding who you becoming. And yeah, you are a multidimensional being. You are the spirit, you are the human, you living in all these different Ds and different dimensions and different experiences. But we never lost. This is just like this continuous spiral of evolution, that we are on different parts of different stages, different parts of that tree, the tree of life and stuff. And in a sense it is very complex because we are in this experience and we forgot everything. But on the other side it's very simple. We just came here for the experience, and we are continuously being navigated by how we feel. And yeah, and if it doesn't feel good, if you don't know where you're going, then maybe it's just time to pause and just do something different. Don't make the big decisions or something. But I really feel that this month, this is really an opportunity to just ebb and flow with whatever life presents you with, because it's not time to take an action and start initiating some massive life-changing events or something. Not until April, not while especially Mars now direct, but Venus coming retrograde, and we know eclipses and stuff. And then we're going to enter into Aries season, new astrological year, but Mercury is still retrograde until the end of the month. So yeah, like April, May, that's when things will really start manifesting, especially Taurus season. That's where it starts manifesting, and that's for another conversation. So I think it's just like to give ourselves just the grace and compassion to just enjoy this time in between, the time of being lost and directionless, and just to trust, which is the hardest thing for the ego. Trust and surrender. Trust and surrender to knowing that all is well.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you feel that tightness and that contraction of that not knowing, go, oh, yeah, right. That's exactly the feeling that tells me to just release and just let go, and just allow to ebb and flow and to move with it, because it's moving, so it is. And I know sometimes it feels too fast, too slow, all the things, but it's just a matter of kind of bringing it into self again and just in this moment. So I feel like that's the best path forward at this time, and using our tools and and allowing yourself to feel and allowing yourself to express. Don't hold on tightly to anything, because that's where we feel that sense of that contraction that just doesn't feel expansive to me. So yeah, I think by the time we meet again mid-month, we'll be having a little more perspective. I think we're going to be meeting on the eclipse, right? Or somewhere around there.
Yeah, usually on the 14th. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I have a big plans for that weekend. So we meet.
Yeah, so it's going to be by that date for sure, right? So we know for sure. So it'll be interesting to see how we pull some layers back to these cards that are starting our foundation here for March, and take it from there. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're probably gonna meet on the second eclipse for recording the April one. So that's gonna be another fun one.
We planned this well.
Yeah, we planned as well. So anyway, so yeah, stay tuned, people, because we're going to be revisiting this.
Yeah. And they say if you are not feeling at peace and at balance, it's not over. So just know that if you're feeling unsettled and uneasy, then it's just you're in the midst of it. You're in the fray. We're not there yet. So just continue, paddle on, just continue on, because it's all part of this process. So
Exactly. And that's, I think, it's a good message to leave it on.
yes.
Cool. Well, this is definitely an interesting perspective to use to enter into the March of Mars, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, we'll see. It's gonna be a moment in the year to help launch us into other new places we'll meet again as we proceed through the year. So
The new
yeah.
astrological year, yeah. And
Yeah.
the second quarter of 2025. Can we believe it already?
That
Like
sounds crazy.
first
Yeah.
quarter is gone.
One down. Yeah. Wow.
Crazy.
Wild.
All right, Marissa, share with us what is on menu this month.
March empowerment kicking off. So I have the empowerment share cast getting started. I'm using a really fun deck this month. And it's called The Curious Creatures by Chris Ann, one of my favorite creators. So I'm really excited to share that over there. It has some bonus features I'm going to be sharing. So anybody who comes over to my free empowerment share cast is going to get some bonus materials to go with that deck. And then to work more comprehensively, we have the March Empowerment pack kicking off, which this is a great month because we've got all the things we just covered. So it would be a good time to consult, our tools just for some stops along the way as we navigate. So that's the main, and also as we have in the northern hemisphere spring coming in with equinox, I have some special spreads. A spring equinox, and I also have an autumn equinox for my southern hemisphere friends that I'll be offering this month too. That's forthcoming. So.
And also, just like you mentioned with the Chinese, beginning of the Chinese year, if people want, they can use the beginning of astrological year to take advantage of your 2025. The
Yes,
year
great
is
point.
red.
Thank you, because I still haven't done my own personal year ahead reading because I was, and so that's when I do mine. So I will be doing my personal year ahead, and I have a really cool deck, the Astro Codes, and I lay out all the signs of the zodiac, and I pull your 20 cards from Aries to Pisces season. So you're right. Thank you. I appreciate you keeping me on my. I
Keeping
do
you on
like
your
that one's
schedule.
fun. Yeah, so don't let me forget. I got to do my own reading this month.
Perfect. Yeah, and I'll be also running a seasonal sale. I believe I will kick it off with the eclipse. So to give people a little bit of time if they need additional guidance from the astrology for the month of March and the beginning of the new astrological year and all the rest of it. So yes, I'll be running a seasonal sale probably from the 14th until the end of the month. So yeah, stay tuned. Check out my website for that. And yeah, I'm sure that we'll be reminding you of all of these things on our IG live in the mid-month check-in.
Yeah, so come check it out. And we do post the replay for that if you're not on Instagram, on YouTube as well. So we'll be
Cool.
checking back in a few weeks.
Awesome. So this was fun. Thanks, Marissa. I know that you have some crazy busy schedule this week and with the weekend preparation and the school break and everything coming up. So I appreciate the time. Always a
Yeah,
pleasure. And I
thank
look
you. I'm glad we got it in.
fun. Yeah, it's just a crazy, crazy happenings in life right now.
Mhm.
All right, everyone. See you next time.
All right, till then.
Bye.